SpaceX's ambitious plans are clearly not slowing down anytime soon, especially with the latest updates on the Starship catching system. Now, you might think, can they actually catch a massive booster midair? SpaceX is planning to use the tower arms for exactly that. The idea is to move the arms into position just outside the main danger zone when the engines ignite. Then, once everything's stable, the arms will shift inward for the catch. It's similar to the Falcon 9, which doesn't move directly to its landing spot until the landing burn starts. They'll probably refine this further over time, but for now it's a major step forward. What about catching the upper stage of Starship? Could we see SpaceX attempt that in one of the upcoming flights? Maybe even Flight 6? Unfortunately, no. Right now, there's just no hardware on Starship that would make this possible. Have you hit the like button yet? Help us boost the YouTube algorithm by giving us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Many thanks for your amazing support. The booster uses catch pins to hook onto the arms, but the Starship upper stage? Not yet. We'll probably see some kind of mounting system installed when the time comes. But first, SpaceX will want to perfect the booster's return and catching. Plus, catching Starship's upper stage poses additional challenges, like preventing those critical heat tiles from peeling off on re-entry. It's a massive engineering hurdle, and even with all the strides SpaceX has made, we're still in the wait-and-see phase. Moving on, SpaceX isn't just about catching rockets and launching satellites. They're also pushing boundaries with in-space operations. Dr. Ken Shinaki from NASA recently shared that SpaceX is set to begin propellant transfer testing in space as soon as March next year, aiming to wrap up by summer. We're expecting to see actual hardware for these tests in the coming months, which will mark a huge step toward long-duration missions beyond Earth orbit. Of course, all of this depends on SpaceX maintaining a steady launch cadence, something NASA is particularly interested in. They're eyeing bi-weekly launches from both Starbase and later from Kennedy Space Center's pad at LC-39A. And let's not forget the crew side of things. NASA astronauts are regularly visiting SpaceX in Hawthorne, offering feedback on the human landing system, testing mock-ups, and helping shape future lunar missions. And this goes beyond just training and mock-ups. NASA is also lending a hand with some key technical challenges SpaceX is facing, like testing micrometeoroid and orbital debris-resistant tiles for deep space missions. They're working on improving cryogenic valves and even enhancing SpaceX's thermal management systems for those longer missions. Collaboration between NASA and SpaceX has never been stronger, and we're seeing both sides contribute in significant ways. Meanwhile, Falcon 9 missions continue like clockwork. SpaceX recently launched another batch of Starlink satellites, capturing some breathtaking launch and landing footage in the process. During Saturday's launch, the onboard booster camera provided uninterrupted footage from liftoff to main engine cutoff, and all the way through to the drone ship landing. Just incredible. The booster, already on its 19th mission, landed on the Just Read the Instructions drone ship, marking another textbook landing. SpaceX's Falcon 9 system is running smoother than ever, especially with their seamless turnaround of drone ships. It's impressive to watch these landings, given the reliability and consistency SpaceX has achieved with Falcon 9. There's also news from NASA's Gateway program, which could redefine human spaceflight and exploration. Gateway is set to be the first lunar space station, supporting scientific research and astronaut operations around the moon. One of Gateway's core modules, the Halo, recently passed its stress tests and is on track for a 2028 launch. Collaborating internationally, Gateway is incorporating contributions from agencies and institutions worldwide, promising a whole new era of lunar exploration. Halo alone will support crew living quarters and host critical experiments, like NASA's Space Environmental Monitoring Suite and the European Space Agency's radiation measurement systems. These instruments are essential for future missions to Mars and beyond, as they'll help protect both astronauts and the hardware required for these long-haul missions. And while NASA is working on Gateway, they've also announced potential landing sites for Artemis 3. By analyzing data from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, NASA pinpointed promising regions near the lunar South Pole. These locations offer access to ancient terrain and shadowed craters, which are believed to contain valuable resources like water ice. This is crucial for future sustainability on the moon, and scientists are eager to uncover what lies within these frozen, shadowed areas. Speaking of Artemis, there's a bit of suspense around the Orion heat shield issues encountered on its first flight in November 2022. NASA hasn't publicly shared a solution yet, but they're confident that Artemis II will proceed smoothly with planned modifications. In the meantime, Artemis II crew members have been training extensively, working with Lockheed Martin to test the durability of Orion's crew module hatch. Hundreds of cycles later, it's safe to say they're getting quite familiar with the hardware. These preparations are all part of ensuring that when Artemis II launches, the crew will be ready for anything. Now, shifting gears a bit, Boeing has faced some challenges of its own, particularly with the Starliner program. Speculations are surfacing that Boeing might sell its space sector, considering the setbacks and financial strains, including recent union strikes. If a sale does happen, it raises big questions about the future of Boeing's involvement in NASA's Artemis program, as well as its stake in United Launch Alliance. Remember, ULA is a 50-50 partnership between Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and there's even talk of ULA itself being up for sale. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and if another aerospace giant like Blue Origin might be interested in acquiring ULA. And speaking of Blue Origin, they've made headlines too. Their New Glenn rocket's first stage was recently transported to the launch site for testing. Named GERT, or the Giant Enormous Rocket Transporter, this massive vehicle made a 37-kilometer journey to Cape Canaveral's Launch Complex 36, preparing for a full wet dress rehearsal and a hot fire test of its BE-4 engines. New Glenn's first stage is set to be fully reusable, similar to SpaceX's Falcon 9 and Starship models. This is a significant step for Blue Origin as they aim to keep pace with SpaceX's rapid advancements. It'll be thrilling to watch New Glenn join the reusable rocket family. So, what do you think? Can SpaceX really pull off catching Starship's upper stage? And will Blue Origin successfully launch New Glenn on its first try? There's no shortage of innovation happening right now. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe for more jaw-dropping space updates, and join us as we embark on a cosmic journey like never before.